Hello, I am Deadslot142 and welcome to the Q&A. Yes, the Q&A is finally here. I'm doing this Q&A because, well, we reached 50 subscribers last week, but yeah, well, we reached 50 subscribers and to celebrate it, I decided to do a Q&A. So today, we are going to do it. I've got a lot of questions to answer today, because people asked some questions in the Q&A, and I'm ready to answer them. It should be good fun. And well, let's get started with our first question then. The first question comes in from Hexbug Heroes, who says, what is the first robot combat battle you can remember watching? The first combat robot combat battle I can remember watching was I think this is the very first one I can remember watching, was Exterminator versus Chaos 2. I can remember that being vaguely my first battle I think I ever watched, but I think I might have watched some more before that, but I can't remember. Because when I got into Robot Wars, I was about 3 or 4 years old. So I think that was the first battle I ever watched, but I can't really remember which one I actually watched, to be honest. I think that's the one I vaguely watched it when I started sort of getting into it. So yeah, I think that's the first one, and I remember also watching Wheelie Big Cheese and Deertor, because I always remember the eyes fall off Deertor when it got flipped in the air by Wheelie Big Cheese. That was great. I did kind of like those two battles. I know that was just Wheelie Big Cheese being pity bucks. I know the battles didn't last long, but they was kind of memorable battles to me. I always remember those battles. Sort of the first fights I ever watched. I think that might be the first time I ever saw Chaos 2 and Exterminator and Wheelie Big Cheese and Deertor. I think I also remember watching. I think it was in that entire episode of Extreme, the first episode of Extreme 1 as well. I think that was the first. I don't think it was my introduction into Robot Wars. I think I got into it before that, but yeah, I think that's I think Exterminator vs Chaos 2, or it might be, or Stinger vs Tornado. I think those two. It's one of those two were the first battle I ever watched. But yeah, for those, I think those are the first battles I ever watched. But like I said, I can't remember. I was quite young when I got into Robot War, so when it was kind of on the telly. So I remember watching those battles, but I can't sort of remember which one was my first one. But I kind of think it might be Chaos 2 vs Exterminator. So yeah. And yeah, well, that was the question from Hexbug Heroes. And thank you to Hexbug Heroes for your question as well. Thank you very much. Time for our next questions. Next question's coming from the Bot Builder, and he's got 4 questions for me. So let's get on with the first of his questions. So the first one is, what is your favourite video game? I have quite a lot of games I like. But probably my main favourite game is the one I play the most is World of Warcraft. I play that game quite a lot. It's the game I spend most of my time on, probably. I spent most of my time on. Invested most time into is World of Warcraft. I think. If you don't know what World of Warcraft is, it's a MMORPG game. It's a multiplayer online role-playing game. It's a really good fun game. I have loved Warcraft and probably played it for more or less 15, 13 years now, that game. So I spent a lot of years playing it, so it's been one of my one of the best games I've played so far. But there's other games I do really enjoy. I've just got into RA2, which is Robot Arena 2, and I think that's a really good fun game. I haven't played a good robot combat game in a long time, and I think that was just great. I just love that game. It's just fun. It might glitch and everything, but I think it's still fun. I've been playing the Robot Wars mod and the BattleBots and BuggerBots pack mod, and I think they're both excellent. I think they're brilliant fun. I can waste a lot of time on those games. I can waste a lot of time on Robot Arena 2 because I just love robot combat games. I mean, I think the last time I ever played a robot game before that was Extreme Destruction on the PC. Because I don't have an Xbox, I bought it or got it for, I think it was Christmas or something, for the PC. I absolutely loved that game as well. It's a great game. The first Robot Combat game I actually played was Arenas of Destruction on the PlayStation 2, which was a great game. That's the first game I actually played on the PlayStation 2 as well. I remember getting that for Christmas with a Robot Arena 2, which was great fun. Great fun game. Or not Robot Arena 2, Arenas of Destruction, sorry. Got that wrong. So I got those two together, and I remember playing that as my first game on the PlayStation 2, which was great fun. I loved Arenas of Destruction. I think I played a lot of hours on that. I spent a lot of time in that game as well. I could play that all day, to be honest. Now my PlayStation, I think I still got it, but I don't know if my PlayStation 2 even works anymore, to be honest. But I also love the Spyro trilogy. That's a great game. I love Spyro. It's a great game. I love Spyro. It's a really good game. I love. Always liked the Spyro games. I love the remastered version. I don't know if any of you played the remastered version, but it's really good fun. Remastered versions of the Spyro trilogy, so 1, 2, 3. I could waste a lot of time on that game as well. Lots of time, and really good fun as well. Those the games are. Yeah, those are really good games. I also kind of like when I'm not playing those games, I like to play a bit of FIFA, which is because I'm a football fan. I love FIFA, but the problem about FIFA is it's the only game that makes me angry. I don't know what it is about that game, but I try to not play it as much. Well, I don't play it as much really at the moment. I played it for a while now. I'm mostly playing World of Warcraft and Robot Arena 2 at the moment. I haven't playing much games. It's either at the moment it's either games or making robots or something. Yeah, so those are the games I like to play. But I think primarily the game I play the most is it's probably World of Warcraft probably. I think it is. Yeah, so that's probably the game I play most. So I say that's my favourite, but I have a lot of favourite games and stuff. Also, another game I used to like was Little Big Planet. That was a good game as well. Little Big Planet wasn't a bad game either. I love that game. But yeah, some games I can just waste my time, and I just love doing it. It's great. It's great fun. And there's just some other Robot Combat games I really want to download so very soon and play, like Robot Champions and Robot Rumble 2. They look great fun, so I'd love to play some of those games as well. But yeah, those are my favourite games as well. So, and my favourite video game. So the next question is, what is your favourite fan-made Robot Wars series? Now, fan-made Robot Wars series, I have quite a lot of favourites, to be honest. But I'd say that my favourite one is Lego Bots, because that was the first ever fan-made Robot Wars series I ever watched when I started getting to YouTube. Because when I was getting into YouTube, I tried to look for Robot Wars stuff and that. I mean, I think when I started watching YouTube, there wasn't much Robot Wars content on. Oh, well, I think there was, but they didn't have the full seasons and stuff, I don't think, because I started watching his series about 2008, 2009. But it was a great series, I think. I really loved it. But I love all sorts of the fan-made Robot Wars series. So I don't really have a main favourite. But because I like Robot Wars Omega, SSRW, Minibot Wars, Anarchy Begins, Grand Slam, RWA, Model Wars. There's just so many good series out there at the moment, and the fan-made Robot Wars just keeps growing. There's just lots of new series coming out all the time at the moment. It's great to see this the community being grown back up again, because I think there was a period of time where fan-made Robot Wars, and not states, I think there's still some going, but it was just but it wasn't. It's not. I don't think it's now dominant again. It's now. There's some series I've never watched. I mean, I've never watched Master Raft Robot Wars. I really want to watch that one. I need to get around to watching that one. There's some old ones I've never watched, like Robo War and stuff, but I want to watch. I I think that's all I do these days is watch fan-made Robot Wars and stuff. But yeah, I think I'd say if I was gonna say my favourite one will be is probably Lego Bots, because it's the first ever fan-made Robot Wars show I ever watched, and that's how I got into making fan-made Robot Wars in the first place. Yeah, so yeah, that's my favourite fan-made Robot Wars. Right, so I'm not picky. I like them all really. So that makes sense. So I just enjoy watching it. It's fun. I think they're all got their own little unique styles and stuff. I think they're all unique in their own way. I think I think it's just a great community, to be honest. This community, and I think, and yeah, hope for many good years. Right, and the next question is, what is your favourite Robot Wars robot that never won a battle? I don't know really, to be honest. I never really thought of that one. I'd say if a robot, I think if it's a joke robot wise, I think I'd say the Team Death robot's kind of my favourite, because only two of them. I'd say Piece of Resistance and Death Orb of theirs are my favourite. I wasn't a big fan of Immortalis, but I kind of like those two. Those machines just tried it ridiculous they were. Because I kind of like Death Warmed Up more, because it was just it just looked quite funny. It's just, I like the fact that there's a man sat in a chair and it's gonna fight some robots. Quite funny. And but if there's any robot I like look at, then they'll win a battle. Actually, I'm not sure really, because I know never thought. I mean, I'd say Vector looked good. They look like a good robot in Robot Wars. It's a shame they never got go. I know they didn't do get much because they broke down, but it would have been interesting to see Vector return again, because I really like the weapon. I like the Biohazard styled flipper weapon. In all honestly, it was quite good. It's quite a good weapon, I think. I like that flipper on. It looks interesting on Vector, but it's a shame they never got going or anything. Shame it broke down and stuff. But yeah, but to be honest, I think that's the only one I can really think of. But did Push to Exit win a battle? I don't think they did. They might have done. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that I never really thought about it. I was gonna say, I think Vector, but it's a shame they never returned to Robot Wars. In all fairness, Vector. Well, it's interesting to see if they could have brought it back and made it more interesting. And I did like the design of it, in all fairness, as well. So even if it didn't look like a good robot, but it did look okay. I think it looked okay. Yeah, so that's my robots that never won a battle. And your next and last question is, who was your biggest inspiration for YouTube? Now, I don't know where my inspiration came from for YouTube. I think it's all been. I've sort of wanted to do this quite a long time. I just never thought about doing it until, well, last year really, because I've always been quite camera shy and stuff. But I think my inspiration really sparked when I went to Robo Nerd last year. Which, if you've never been to the Robo Nerds, I highly recommend it. It's a really good event. It's awesome because you get to see all these old robots and you get to see all these people on YouTube. It's quite good because I found it was overwhelming because you're just walking and just everyone you've seen on television and on YouTube is just right there. But it was just amazing. And I remember leaving. I just thought, I really like this community. I really want to be part of it. So I thought to myself on my way home, you know what? I'm gonna make a YouTube channel. I mean, I make models like a lot of people do in this community. I like to make fan-made Robot Wars because I've been doing my little sort of fan-made Robot Wars for quite a bit now. And I thought to myself, well, why don't I turn it into a series? And then and I know people might enjoy it as well as me, because because I and I just thought to myself, well, I'm just gonna put myself in front of a camera and let's show off some of these models I made. So I mean, I took Fatboy Tim with me to RoboNerd last year, and I took my Apollo model as well. So yeah, it's a shame we got cancelled, but the circumstances are understandable. But hopefully next year, hopefully if it's on next year, then I'll definitely be going, because I love RoboNerd. It is a great event. But yeah, I think that's the thing that sparked my inspiration to get into it, because I just thought to myself, I want to be part of this community. I decided, I think it was the following weekend, the following Friday, I decided to do it. Or it was a week after I decided, after I left RoboNerd, that I was going to start a YouTube channel. And I did. And I've enjoyed it ever since, to be honest. Been great fun doing YouTube so far. It has been great fun. And I hope to continue doing it. And yeah, I'd say if I was going to say inspiration, I think it was RoboNerd, and just seeing all the community there and seeing what a wonderful, it is a wonderful community. I think the Robot Combat community is, in my opinion, because I just think it's just nice. A lot of nice people in the community, and I got on well with everybody. So I mean, I like Warcraft, but I don't think I like it as more as Robot Wars, though. I think Robot Wars is probably my main thing I've always loved all my life, more than anything, really. I think it's been the biggest impact in my life forever, really. I think Robot Wars has. So, and I just decided I'm going to make a channel based on it. So that's why, and now I'm doing it, and I'm enjoying doing it. So yeah, that's my inspiration into getting into YouTube. That is. But yeah, that was the questions from the bot builder. Thank you very much to the bot builder for your questions. Yeah, thank you very much for your questions. And now we'll move on to the next questions. The next questions are from. There's two questions here from Robot Fighting Replicas Urtwers, and his question is: most obscure robot you've ever heard of? I think the most obscure robot I've ever heard of is a robot called Give Me Some Sugar Baby, which is a robot from BattleBots Season 5.0. Now, before I've ever heard of BattleBots, now I never heard of BattleBots until I was about in secondary school or something, or when I was watching Robot Wars on YouTube, and I came across BattleBots and I looked at all these robots. I know Give Me Some Sugar Baby didn't appear on television, but but when I watched it, I knew that Robot Wars had a wiki, and I don't know how, I can't remember how I found the BattleBots wiki, but I found it, and then I looked and I found all these robots, because I had an idea. I had an idea of making a lot of robots on the wiki and having them in my fan-made series. So that's why I got a lot of robots in my series from the actual wiki, like Minox Sustainless, Rocky Balbotta. I saw some of those robots way before. Saw some of those robots and they looked quite cool. I liked Rocky Balbotta and Vesuvius and stuff like that. And I decided I was going to make some of them. And I don't know when I came across the name Give Me Some Sugar Baby. I think I might have heard it on the Roasting Robots podcast first. And I just thought it's quite a weird name. It's quite a funny name. But then again, it was owned by Comedy Central, the classic series. So I think it's quite a funny name. I also think Mine Not Sustain This is a really obscure name. I think it's a weird name. I think it sort of makes sense with Robot Combat in a way. But that's why I decided to make it. Just sort of like, well, actually I made it because I do listen to the Roasting Robots podcast a lot. It is a hilarious podcast. I love, probably one of my favourite podcasts I ever listened to. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the most obscure names I've ever heard of, is Give Me Some Sugar Baby. But there's lots of obscure names in Robot Combat, I think. Just lots of them, there's lots and lots of it. But yeah, I'd say that's probably the most obscure robot I've ever heard of. And your next question is favorite model you ever built. I'd say the favorite model, if it's a replica, I'd say not Swipe, Snappy. I nearly got his name wrong, but Snappy. Yeah, this is probably my favorite replica because I'm just really happy the way it turned out. Like, it can actually lift robots in the air. I mean, and I've got some other good models. Actually, also say Fatboy Tin is one of my favourite ones, but it is falling apart. It's not falling apart, but it's getting a bit old. I made it years ago, so. But I'd say this is one of my favourites because I actually made it quite accurate, and I like what I've done to it. So, but in all fairness, I'm torn between them and PP3D. Because I quite like my PP3D model as well. Because I like my. So I think I did this, got scale right and stuff, and yeah. But if I was going to say my favourite model I've made, I'd say this one. I'd say this is my favourite model. And I really like Snappy from Buggerbots. I like the machine. I like it. I like the design and stuff. So. And yeah, so if I was going to say which robot was my favourite, my favourite model, it would be Snappy probably. I'd say Snappy. So yeah, that's my favourite robot, a model I've ever built, and thank you to Robot Fighting Replicas Earthworks for your question. Thank you for your question. Now on to the next questions. Well, the next question. The next question is from Robot Combat Models, and it is: when did you first get into robot combat and how? Actually, I'd say that's a tough one, but I think I got into robot combat by. I think I got into Robot Combat when I was probably about 4 or 3. Now, I think that's when I started watching it, because that's like I said in the first question, when I watched Chaos 2 and Exterminator for the first time. I remember watching, I think I was about 3-4 years old. I can't remember how old I was, but I remember watching it, and I remember watching it and just being amazed by these machines and being entertained by these weapons like these flippers, these spinners, these axes, and just watching them destroy each other and just throw each other about and just cause carnage to each other. I just found it really entertaining, really fun to watch, and I think from then on I just made it just. I think when I went to, I think it might have kick-started when I went to see Robot Wars back in, I think it was 2002. I can't remember when it was. It was around the time when they filmed. I think it was when they were filming Extreme 2, because I believe when they filmed the last couple series, they filmed in a place called RAF Newton, which I believe is in it's Nottinghamshire, which is where I'm originally from, Nottinghamshire, so it's not kind of far from. I think RAF Newton's between Nottingham and Leicester or something like that. But I remember going there. I remember going there to watch the actual show. I think it was Extreme 2, because I remember watching Razor versus Firestorm. I think that's the only time they ever fought, when Mr. Psycho and Growler were in the arena. In all fairness, I think that's when they first fought, and I remember that battle. I always remember that battle, but for some reason I can't remember all of it. I think I kind of maybe remember seeing Can open there as well, and I remember seeing Mr. Psycho coming in and just looking at the sheer size of that robot, because it is just a huge beast of a robot. And it's just like, wow, it's just a massive machine. And I think I just got into it from that day onwards, because I remember just buying the toys. And I remember collecting all the toys since then. I don't know if I bought any toys before that, but I don't think I did. I know I do think that I bought, I think Sergeant Bash. This Sergeant Bash here is probably the first pullback I ever bought, and I think it was, and I bought it from there. Well, I didn't buy it, I think my parents obviously bought it for me, but I remember getting this at Robot Wars when I went to see it. So this is a long memory of mine, so I've had this Sergeant Bash for probably a good 17, 18 years. I can't remember how long that is now, but I've had it quite a long time. And I remember buying a pack of mini bots as well from there as well. And I think I just got into it and started collecting everything. That was Robot Wars, getting all the toys and stuff. I mean, most of my pullbacks, so I've had these for years. Some of them are kind of new. I mean, the Chaos 2 I use in Robot War in the current series, and Razor, they're kind of new. I got these with this arena because I got them with the set where you get the trophies and stuff. I think it's from that day onwards. That's how I got into it and just enjoyed looking at all these robots. Not just the destruction I loved about it, was all the designs, all the machines like Robo Chicken. I loved the designs of robots and seeing really cool machines just entering the arena, and just I don't get that feel with any other show than I do with Robot Wars. I think I'll get more of a joy with Robot Wars and Robot Combat than I do with any other show, if that makes sense. I don't mind other shows, but I think Robot Wars has been primarily my biggest hobby throughout my life, probably. So yeah, I think that's how I got into it. I think just sort of seeing it from then on. I mean, I obviously was probably into it before then, because that's why I went to go and see it, and I think it's just been a big part of my life, really, and I just love it, and I just loved it ever since then. Just watching these machines just destroy each other, flip each other about. I love watching machines get thrown out of the arena. I don't think there's nothing that makes me feel. I don't think there's nothing been more fun to watch than Robot Wars. That makes sense. It's just a great show, in my opinion, to watch. It just has been and always will be. There'll be some years where I'll just have a big binge watch of Robot Wars, but I don't watch it from 1 to 2. I watch it from 3 to 7. Now there's 3 more series to watch. I can watch it from 3 to 10 now. But yeah, so that's how I sort of got into Robot Wars, and that's how probably I've been into it quite a long time. So I've probably been into Robot Wars for about 17 years, probably. I'm not sure, but that's sort of when I got into Robot Wars, and that's how I got into it. But just by watching these incredible things just fight each other and just destroy each other, and just remember loving everything about it, and it's just I still love everything about it to this day. So yeah, no, I'd say that's how I got into Robot Wars, and that's why I'm into it. And how I got into it. So yeah, and thank you for your question, Robot Combat Models. Thank you for your question. And then the next couple of questions come from Razor 1905. He's got 6 questions for me, and the first one is: what was your first model, and do you still have it? Yes, I do. I think this is the first model I own. Right. Move out of the way, guys. The first model is this one. I think this is the very first. This is probably this is definitely the first one I ever made, because when I got into Family Robot Wars, I remember this is when I got into it, and when I still had my old arena, the old cardboard arena, which was the the arena I made out of a vegetable box, and I painted it and stuff, and I've had this robot ever since. It was basically made out of an old light bulb box, and it looked like it had a flipper at the front, so I used this as a flipper, or front hinge flipper, and I called it Raging Nightmare. Nothing to do. I don't think it was anything to do with the actual Raging Nightmare. I don't think I actually heard of that or saw that Raging Nightmare until that point, because I never really watched Series 7. I never seen much of Series 7 until I was about in secondary school. But and then I built this. I think I heard the name, but I didn't see the robot. But and I built this for it's basically a light bulb box, and the base is a toilet roll. So it's got some toilet roll base. It's probably my oldest model I own, I think. I mean, I'd say maybe had some other ones. I used to turn toilet roll into robots, but I won't say they're really making if those are really models, because all I'm doing is drawing a face on it and maybe sticking a connects thing in the middle as a spike or something. But yeah, this is the first model I made, and I still have it. I may even bring Raging Nightmare back to Desolate Wars at one point. I mean, they're not in bad condition, so I think they could do well. I think they might fly in the air, but they might not do too bad. Would you like to see them back in Desolate Wars? Let me know. Would you like to see this machine in the arena, maybe next series or something? Oh, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I still have this machine. Right. And the next question is favourite robot from Robot Wars, BattleBots, and King of Bots. Now, I say my favourite robot from Robot Wars is Chaos 2. Absolutely love Chaos 2. It's a great machine, great robot. If I was going to do it, yeah, they're one of my favourite robots from Robot Wars. BattleBots, I'm going to just say Witch Doctor. I absolutely love Witch Doctor. I think it's an awesome machine, awesome robot. Great team as well. I think it's great to watch. I enjoyed watching Witch Doctor last series. They were absolutely amazing machine. Witch Doctor were. I think they're awesome. I hope they come back and I hope they win it next time. I really wanted them to win it as well, because they were a great machine, great robot. And it's just a cool design as well. I think it is just nice. I love Witch Doctor. And for King of Bots, I'd say I don't really watch King of Bots that much, but I'd say Spectre is probably my favourite from there, because it is a beautiful machine. It is a really cool machine. There's not many successful crushers that are successful, and I think it's just really cool. I just love the design of it and stuff. It's a really cool machine. I do plan to one day build Spectre / Quantum one day, but I'll keep it to Spectre though. It's a good name, Spectre. So yeah, those are my favourite robots from Robot Wars, BattleBots, and King of Bots. What is my least favourite robot? Which is the next question. I don't know. I don't really have many least favourite robots. I was going to say least favourite robot. If it's a big robot, I'd say Spawn again, because as it did look okay, but I think it's probably one of the most boring flippers I've ever watched. Even though it has flipped some machines out the arena, but it's not the most. I don't think it's the most entertaining robot. I think it won a lot of robots through luck in a way, because I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Evolution didn't really put up a fight. I can't remember if they went up with it. Well, actually, I mean, I'd say Hydra was probably their best. I mean, Hydra put up a good performance against Spawn again, but I wouldn't say that. I'd say they're probably my least favorite robot I've ever watched. I think there's. But if it's going by Robot Wars and BattleBots and King of Bots, BattleBots, I'm not sure which one's my least favourite robot. I wasn't a fan of Killsaw. No, sorry, Battlesaw. Sorry, Battlesaw. I wasn't a fan of that machine, but it's shit. I wasn't a fan of that robot. And I'm not sure about King of Bots though, because I don't really watch it that much. I don't really watch much of King of Bots. I might watch one season, but I can't remember much of King of Bots. So I'd say for least favourite robots in BattleBots and Robot Wars, it'd probably for Robot Wars would probably be Spawn again, and then for BattleBots would be I just said it. How can I forget something I just said? Battlesaw. I'd say, because I hope they come back and actually rebuild it and try and prove what they can do. But I'd say they're one of my least favourite robots from BattleBots. So yeah, so those are my least favourite robots. Favourite non-heavyweights. I'd say my favourite non-heavyweight has to be Ziggo. Great full body spinner that thing is. It's vicious. It's awesome. Great robot. I enjoyed watching it in BattleBots. Well, I think the first BattleBots match I ever watched. Fun fact, I think it was Ziggo against Scrap Daddy. I can't remember. One of the Scrap Daddy robots, and where it completely tore it apart. That was just glorious to watch. And it was great to watch. That was. I love destruction. That is my favourite thing about robot combat, is destruction and mayhem. Just watching machines just be torn apart. That was just great. That was great to watch. As an introduction to BattleBots, that was great to watch. So yeah, that's probably one of my favourite non-heavyweights. If I was going to have another non-heavyweight, it would probably be Hazard as well. Hazard is also vicious. I love Hazard. They were a great machine. Classic BattleBots as well. They were also a good machine. So yeah, those are some of my favourite non-heavyweight robots. But if I was going to say pick my top favourite non-heavyweight, it would be Ziggo. I love Ziggo. So the next question is, what is your opinion on the Tornado anti-Razor cage? My opinion on the Razor Tornado anti-Razor cage. I don't think it's breaking the rules. In all fairness, I did actually kind of like the look of it when I first saw it. I like the big blade at the front. I did think it looked like it could do some damage. But I don't think it's against the rules. But I do think if you're over the pit or in the pit, you're in the pit. I think even if it isn't in the actual. Well, let me just say, if the robot is hovering over the pit and is sort of in the pit, that to me is in the pit. But to be honest, I haven't really watched that fight that much. But I don't know. I can't remember. Well, but I think.